So it seems like every day I wake up, rights is rolling back. every day I wake up in this country, rights is rolling back. Every day I wake up, Justice Clarence Thomas done accepted another fucking boat ride, another island hopping adventure, to snatch our fucking rights up, girl. Like, you got to get out my face. Yeah, I can't stand his ass. Nigga who contain me. Coming through, we making niggas switch teams. I'm feeling really pissed. All right, y'all. So these clowns at the Supreme Court voted to go ahead and make affirmative action in college admissions illegal. Absolutely hate that. This is coming from the AP. Divided Supreme Court outlaws affirmative action in college admissions, says race cannot be used. So the Supreme Court struck down affirmative action in college admissions. Race cannot be a factor. And this is going to force institutions of higher education to look for new ways to achieve diverse student bodies. I love this line in the article because it's like, girl, these institutions do not give a fuck about that. They do not care about increasing diversity, because if they did, we would see that shit drastically improve or drastically change. They did not give a fuck. And as we know, affirmative action actually benefits white women the most. I'm going to talk about that a little bit later. I also saw somewhere that it benefits white women the most out of, you know, all the non-white races combined. I think I heard something like that. I'll have to double check that. But the article that I'm going to be talking about when it comes to white women and affirmative action, I'll get to that a little bit later. But so the court's conservative majority effectively overturned cases reaching back 45 years in invalidating admissions plans at Harvard and the University of North Carolina, the nation's oldest private and public colleges, respectively. So let's hear some of these arguments. Chief Justice John Roberts said that for too long, universities have concluded wrongly that the touchstone of an individual's identity is not challenges bested, skills built, or lessons learned, but the color of their skin. Our constitutional history does not tolerate that choice. And that's hilarious, because the entire structure of this country is built upon tying your identity to your skin. Like, y'all came up with the category, y'all came up with race so y'all could be oppressive as fuck, you know. So watch them act like, oh, that has no place in our history, girl. Y'all anyway. From the White House, President Joe Biden was talking about he strongly disagreed with the shit. So I want to talk about, the article wants to talk about the way that the three different justices of color responded to this, right? So first we have the coon. First we have this raccoon, Justice Clarence Thomas, the nation's second black justice, who had long called for an end to affirmative action, wrote that the decision sees the university's admission policies for what they are: rudderless, race-based preferences designed to ensure a particular racial mix in their entering classes. I want to switch over to Newsweek real quick. Several reports from Yale officials and representatives confirm that the university followed an affirmative action policy at the time Clarence Thomas attended its law school. Clarence Thomas has strongly supported the notion that his admission was under an affirmative action plan. His feelings were more explicit in the 2007 memoir, My Grandfather's Son, in which Thomas wrote, "As much as it's stunning to be told that I'd done well in the seminary despite my race, it was far worse to feel that I was now at Yale because of it." And it's just like, girl, you are at Yale though. You're gonna have to sit your ass down. I don't understand how you get up there literally taking advantage of the same policies that you're trying to shit on right now. I don't like, really, Justice Clarence Thomas really pisses me off because he's taking coin from billionaires, riding on their yachts and shit, while our rights are being evaporated. The same way while he has a hand in evaporating these kinds of rights and shit, right? The same kinds of rights that his ass benefited from. Actually fucking hate it. They continue, although there isn't documentary evidence such as admission papers or other paperwork that would settle the question entirely, it appears clear from the testimony of Yale officials and Thomas that his admission to the Yale School of Law was made at the time of affirmative action policies and was almost certainly influenced by it. Thomas has repeatedly claimed that affirmative action initiatives or similar policies were responsible for his admission and his sense of discrimination therein. This appears to have been a formative part of Thomas's opposition to the social policy. As noted by Yale, the university embarked on an aggressive campaign when it came to affirmative action during the 1960s and the 1970s when Thomas applied. So it's just like, you sitting here. I cannot stand tap dancing ass like raccoons. Like I cannot, you know, sitting on there on billionaires' dime, on not only the billionaires' dime who want to buy his ass, but also the taxpayers' coin. The taxpayers' coin. Hate it. Sotomayor, the court's first Latina, wrote in dissent that the decision rolls back decades of precedent and momentous progress. Both Clarence Thomas and Sotomayor, the two justices who have acknowledged affirmative action, played a role in their admissions to college and law school. Ms. Brown Jackson dragged it as well. She said that this decision is truly a tragedy for us all. She said, with let them eat cake obliviousness, today the majority pulls the ripcord and announces colorblindness for all, but deeming race irrelevant in law does not make it so in life. First of all, look at all the judges who voted to uproot affirmative action from universities, colleges and universities, and look at the ones who voted against that initiative. So Clarence Thomas is sitting over here with all the with all the men and the white folks. It's just like, I hate it. I hate it. He don't think he look out of place over here? Get it? Just look at it. Just look at it. I hate it. So the universities are responding to this. Many said that they were still assessing the impact, but would follow federal law. They're talking about they still have a commitment to diversity. I'm looking at y'all college campuses. I'm just like, bitch, what the fuck are y'all talking about? Y'all already don't got it. And now that affirmative action is out the window, you expect me to just trust that you're gonna give a fuck? I don't give a fuck. Y'all should be more concerned about legacy admissions. It's crazy to hear other like minority demographics try to take a shit on black people because of affirmative action. Meanwhile, legacy admissions are out. I'm gonna get to it. Because this is what the president of Harvard said. Harvard will continue to be a vibrant community whose members come from all walks of life, all over the world. But let's talk about this. Vox says one study found that these preferences gave an edge to white applicants. We're talking about Harvard. Among white students admitted to Harvard, 43% received a preference for athletics, legacy status, being on the dean's interest list, or for being the child of a faculty or staff member. And another key point here, without those advantages, 3/4 of them would have been rejected. So while you're mad at the little bitty ass percentage of fucking black folks on the campus that y'all don't even admit into the school, 43%, almost half of the white students at Harvard would not have been there, would not have been fucking accepted if not for, you know, they daddy got some coin, they mama went there before, you an athlete, something like that. So it's like, while y'all are over here pissed at black people, you need to, especially the minority communities who are not black, pissed at black people for the way that you're being treated by colleges. Y'all need to be pissed at these legacy students. What the fuck are y'all talking about? We ain't did shit. Now, why am I in it? Now, why are we in it? CollegeTransitions.com says a study of 30 elite colleges found that primary legacy students are an astonishing 45% more likely to get into a highly selective college or university than a non-legacy. Secondary legacies receive a lesser pick-me-up of 13%. One study revealed that being a legacy was equivalent in admissions value to a 160-point gain on the SAT. This statistic says, although Princeton only admits 3.98% of the people who applied, 30%, over 30% were legacy candidates. This is class of 2025. So I don't understand why people are, y'all are just pissed at the wrong people. Y'all are pissed at the wrong people. I thought this was interesting. The only institutions of higher education explicitly left out of the ruling were the nation's military academies. Roberts apparently suggested that national security interests could affect the legal analysis. Okay, girl. They said, bitch, we ain't getting written. Now, if you a nigga, you can come to these military academies. They said, nah, wait a minute now. We minorities, y'all can still funnel it in. Y'all can still single file line into these military fucking academies. But as the rest of that shit, I just think it's very interesting, especially considering how Ron DeSantis went on the news talking about if he would win the presidency, he would go after dissolving the education department. So it's just like they coming for education, they burning books. You see what I'm saying? You catch that tea. They burning books. They come for education, dismantling education. They trying to put up more barriers for minority people to get into education. I mean, it's an absolute mess. Now, we will end this video talking about how much white women benefit. All right. So, white women benefit the most from affirmative action. So why do they oppose it? Scholars say the greatest beneficiaries of affirmative action policies are white women. From college campuses to the American workplace, white women today are more educated and make up a bigger slice of the workforce as a result of decades of affirmative action policies. Scholars say white women have also made inroads into corporate leadership that people of color have not. In the last 6 decades, women have leapfrogged men in earning 4-year degrees, while Black and Latino students are still underrepresented in college admissions and graduation rates, especially in 4-year colleges. A similar trend has been seen in the workplace, according to a USA Today analysis of named executives at the nation's 100 largest companies. From 2020 to 2022, white women expanded their share of senior leadership jobs at twice the rate of women of color, though women remained outnumbered 2-1. Despite marginal gains among men of color, white men still hold about 2/3 of the top jobs, even though they account for just 1/3 of US workers. Discussions about affirmative action tend to focus on race, but stats show that it's also been an equalizer for white women in education and in the workplace. This Labor Department report in 1995 found that since the 1960s, affirmative action had helped 5 million members of minority groups and 6 million women move up in the workplace. This article talking about the same report by the Department of Labor, 1995 report, said that, of course, 6 million women overall had advances at their job that would not have been possible without affirmative action. And the percentage of women physicians tripled between 1970 and 2002. And in 2009, women were receiving a majority of all degrees, college degrees. So, and this is according to American Association of University Women. So it's like to see not only Black people get blamed for the way that, you know, other students are treated. And it's crazy, like I said, when it comes from other minority groups, it's like, can you not see that they are, it's the easiest thing to just scapegoat a fucking Black person without actually doing your goddamn research. Can y'all not see that they treating us all like fucking shit, and we're fighting each other when you should be fighting the goddamn the legacy students, the legacy programs. Like if your daddy gave $500,000, $200,000 to the goddamn to build a damn library for the school you're already in. It's just like, I don't know. Or if you donated some shit, your daddy went to, your mama went to that shit, your sister. It's just, y'all, it's mad at the wrong people. And I think it's giving the conservatives exactly what they want, even though it's so wild to see that even though it's, you know, a majority of white women who have benefited from it, you got all these white people pissed at the idea of affirmative action. It's like, how are you so racist as a country that's people within the government had to come up with a law saying, hey girl, y'all can't leave us out. Y'all can't leave minority people out. You know what I mean? And even when that law is enacted, even when that shit is enacted, white women were the ones who are benefiting from it the most. You know, so it's just like, y'all so pissed at this affirmative action that's, you know, like, obviously it has helped, obviously it's done something, but y'all so racist that even when you see that it has helped white women the most, y'all still want to take that shit down. That shit is weird as fuck to me. That shit is weird as hell to me. But yeah, that's it. Let me know what y'all think about this. Thank you so much for watching, and make sure that you have a good goddamn evening.